Rajdeep, the obvious question, Rajdeep. What was the biggest thing you think Rahul Gandhi said? And is all this anger and gussa justified?
Look, let's be very clear. There's nothing really that Rahul Gandhi said in the UK that he hasn't said in India. If you look at his speeches on the Bharat Jodo Yatra, democracy khatre mein hai, or democracy is in danger has been his sort of signature tune right through. I have no problem actually whether he says it on foreign soil or in Indian soil. That's his viewpoint. He's entitled to express it. I think the problem is the manner in which it gets expressed. You see, when you want to make statements of the kind you are, you've got to be far more nuanced. You're not at a political rally. You know, you're in Cambridge University, you're in a committee room at the House of Parliament. You expect it to be a little bit more nuanced, a little bit more gravitas. You know, back your claims if you believe democracy is in danger, back them with far more specific instances. Otherwise, you know, it seemed like an off-the-cuff remark. And that's a dangerous thing. On sensitive issues, when you're abroad, you need to be a little bit more careful of the manner in which you make the remarks. I have no problem with Rahul Gandhi expressing himself, and you could argue that, you know, foreign soil in the age of real-time communication, you know, it's going to go all over the world at the same time. But
okay, so
it's actually the way he said it, which is perhaps he could have nuanced it and made his arguments, I think, in a far better way than he eventually
okay,
did.
so
That's my view.
Rajdeep says foreign soil or Indian soil doesn't matter. He's saying the same thing. What do you think? I'll come to the the foreign hand issue in a little while. What do you guys think about that? Did it matter that he was saying all this stuff on foreign soil? Democracy is dying, etc.
Do we need Europe to tell us what democracy is all about? Do we need America to tell us what democracy is all about?
But that's what Rahul was asking for.
Are they defenders of democracy, and are we okay with it? I mean, we want a Gora to guide us about democracy, or
No,
Gora...
he didn't say that.
No,
Let's be fair.
so,
Rahul Gandhi, I've gone through it now.
But he said, where are these defenders of democracy?
Where are defenders?
He says, where
are
he's
Goras
not
defenders
calling
of democracy?
Subsequent to that, 5 minutes later, he says, we will resolve our own problem. These are internal issues.
In a subsequent, speech, he clarified. Subsequent
No,
speech.
in that same when asked the question.
He did
And it's unprecedented.
He did not ask for Western intervention. Let's be
I
fair.
did not say intervention.
He said something which
No,
I thought was
Rajdeep,
more important. He
Rajdeep.
said, just a minute. He said democracy is a common public good. India is the largest democracy in the world. If I believe Indian democracy is under threat, I believe the world should take notice.
Will Joe
Is he
Biden
not
or
entitled?
Donald Trump ask for Indian intervention to save American democracy?
No, but he did say, where are these defenders?
That's right. He said that. Where are
democracy?
they? He's not calling for them to intervene, and they can't. Let's
But
be
are
honest.
they
It's our
defenders of
problem, not
democracy?
their problem.
Are they defenders of democracy, or are we the oldest democracy in the world? Why do we need Goras lecturing us?
No, but I don't
Do we want a lecture from a Gora?
So
we
we
want
don't.
a VDM report to tell
We
us
don't.
whether we are a democracy or not.
So certainly,
Sir, you with your
foreign
4 decades plus of experience, you want a VDM report to tell us?
Nabila,
Of course I don't.
No, what I'm saying is that it's not like BJP has never spoken about the Congress on foreign soil. So this is not unprecedented for sure. Prime Minister Modi, right when he won in 2014, he spoke in Toronto, in the United States, in Oman, hitting out at the Congress so much so, speaking of India being a scam country, that it's been so tainted and awful until I took over. So it's not as if the BJP has not done the same thing earlier. And if BJP really speaks about law and wants to abide by the law, then we've seen how they bulldoze several laws through an ordinance in the parliament. So,
But is it really about criticizing the country? Or is it about calling for intervention? Rajdeep, you're saying there was no call for outside intervention.
There was no call for outside intervention.
It seemed like him saying, what are you guys doing? You guys are doing nothing. Where are the defenders of democracy? Sounds to me like a call to action.
No, my point is, let us assume that's his view, right? Let's assume. How does it become anti-India? Let's assume that his statements are anti-Modi's government. Let's assume, as I said at the outset, his statements lack nuance. Let's assume that his statements do not reflect the complexity of an issue like democracy. Because, democracy has, I still believe that, democracy in this country allows us to sort of express ourselves, in a manner that very few other countries
democracy
would.
is not
And he's
alive
saying
in
democracy
India,
is dead.
something that none of
No,
us
it cannot
agree
be that democracy is dead when I lose an election. It cannot be that democracy is dead when I lose an election. And democracy is alive when I win. I think democracy is problematic when, for example, some of our institutions don't function the way to do, and let's be honest, they don't.
Like
there
which
are
one?
There are several institutions, Parliament for example. I don't think Parliament is fulfilling its task at all. Look at the legislative work or the failure of Parliament to have serious debates on serious issues of our times.
But
there are very few
but
debates.
the irony and the joke of it all here.
No. So therefore I believe these are the issues that should be debated in a nuanced, complex manner without making sweeping remarks like saying democracy is dead in India.
And he kind of walked into a trap.
For Parliament to
No,
function.
that said, why I think it's so silly of Rahul Gandhi on the contrary is that he has barely any attendance in the Parliament. We just did that story the other day. He has below average
He
attendance in the
completely
Parliament.
walked into
He
that.
failed to be present largely. And with what ground and moral ground does he have to speak about India on a foreign soil? You fight, no. Electorally fight, get to the ground.
Now, are we saying
It's
that?
the
Are we
people's
saying at the
mandate.
moment? Are we
It's
saying
ultimately
that
Modi
when
has
over-
worked through a people's
Nabila Jamal,
mandate.
when over the last 8 years, 95% of the cases filed against politicians have been from the opposition by the Enforcement Directorate. Are we saying that that is not an
Are you
evidence
saying that none
of
of
a
these
discord?
opposition party netas who've been pulled up by the
95%,
central agencies are not corrupt?
95%
None
out of
of these
100.
opposition
You
netas are
genuinely
corrupt?
believe, Nabila Jamal, that only opposition leaders in this country
I'm
are
not
corrupt?
saying only. I agree that the timing
Therefore-
and the fact that it's only opposition
therefore,
who are being targeted is
anyone-
an issue.
Ma'am,
But are
anyone-
these opposition leaders not corrupt?